What is up, guys? Welcome all back to another mock draft. And let me get my pen and paper ready here because I have some notes. I just got done watching the some of the Senior Bowl with like the linemen, so kind of got me writing some players down, and I'll kind of give you guys a little bit of insight in who I think is overrated. And there's one player significantly overrated, and there's one player significantly underrated. I mean, I think he's ranked like 99, and I think if you drafted him in the top 10, you'd have a steal. I think this guy's probably going to be that good. But anyway, let's go on to the site here. This is Pro Football Network. I always do my mock drafts here. It's really good. Just click here if you want to do it yourself. We'll do the first round. But I'll go through those players in a minute. I'll tell you, there's some that are overrated. When I was watching, there's some that are overrated. A couple of them underrated, but anyway, let's start. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you've never seen any of my my mock drafts, I mock draft. I do this. I'm not trying to guess who's going to be picked at that certain spot. I try to pick who I would pick if I was the general manager. So every single team I'm picking as if I'm sitting in the seat to pick, like my job's on the line to pick. But anyway. Let's go with pick number 1. Now, for the record, I don't know if any quarterback is worth taking in the first round, first pick. I don't see, like, example, Shedeur Sanders. He's just a poor man's Jayden Daniels. He's not even near Jayden Daniels, in my opinion. He's very good, and he'll be picked. He will be picked high because of need. He possibly is like a franchise changer. My big issue with him is you have to deal with his father, I think, and his father's coaching legacy kind of hovering over you, so that could be an issue. I don't know if that's going to come into play with these guys because they all have egos and everything. I would definitely think of that. You know, I have to deal with the father and things like that. Not just that. You know, a lot of these players with the way that college football is structured now, they're millionaires coming into the NFL. So I just think that, especially these quarterbacks, they're not coming in ready. If you look at the last few years, there's maybe one great quarterback that comes out of the draft, maybe two. I mean, I wouldn't consider Bo Nix great. I would consider him a good starter. You know, like he's exactly what I thought he'd be. He come in the NFL, he was good, but his ceiling's so high. Jayden Daniels was the one last year that I thought would be great, and sure enough, he's great. And Caleb Williams. He's one of those guys I'm talking about. He came in. He's got a little bit of an ego. He had a few up moments, but he was down most of the time. And near the end of the year, he looked like he was almost going to get benched. I don't even know if he got benched or not. But I mean, it's just that's what we're dealing with some of these quarterbacks. Linemen are a different story. So you're not going to see me running up and grabbing quarterbacks right away. I just don't think a lot of them should be drafted high. And if I'm sitting in a general manager seat, I'm scouring the free agent market and I'm going to grab a fucking veteran quarterback. So my plan, if I was Tennessee, I would throw a bag, you know, at Sam Darnold, and I would grab Abdul Carter, probably the best player in the draft or one of them. And I would just kind of build my defense and Sam Darnold's still young. I know some of you may disagree with that. I just don't think any of these quarterbacks are as good as he is. I just do not. Like, why not just go grab him and then keep Will Levis in the same room? Like, Will Levis mentally has to get better, but physically he's better than any quarterback in the draft. It's not even close. He's got way better arm than... The only other guy I would say that might have his arm is the guy from Ohio State, Howard. And but I'm really high on him, so I don't know where he's going to fall in the draft or go up in the draft, but I think Will Howard's... He's the one quarterback in this draft. I think that is if a star comes out, it's probably him. Shedeur Sanders, maybe. My opinion on Cam Ward, I think he's got a ceiling issue. I think his ceiling's only so high, and I think he's got an ego. But I'll kind of evaluate him for whoever I kind of send over there. But anyway, the second pick. If I am the Browns, and you can kind of flip-flop these two. But I'm sitting in the Browns chair. From what I've seen, from what I've watched now, I haven't interviewed them. I haven't watched a ton of game film on them. From what I've seen, I'm grabbing my favorite quarterback in the draft is Will Howard. You could put Shedeur Sanders there, no problem. Fits great with the coach. I think it'd be a good fit. They got talent. I think these quarterbacks in this draft have got to have talent around them. They got to come into a team that's already kind of talented so they can complement the team, not the team being built around them until they develop. So I love Will Howard. Like I said, he's rated very low. There's got to be something I'm missing. I've just watched a little bit of film on him. Again, I don't understand why he's so low. He's got the size, he's got the fucking arm, he can make throws that no one else in this fucking draft can make. He did nothing but get better all year, and he dominated against good competition. What's there to not like? So in my opinion, Will Howard's the best quarterback in this draft, along with Shedeur Sanders. They're just two different quarterbacks, just whoever you like, as far as style wise. But that I would go grab him, but I'd probably trade out of that pick, to be honest with you, if I'm Cleveland. I don't know. I don't think any of these quarterbacks are worth grabbing like the top, really top of the draft. I think if you grab, like example, if whoever drafts Cameron Ward in the top, definitely 5, if not like 7 or 8, will be looking for a job in 2 years. In my opinion, I don't think he's bad, but I don't think he's a fucking franchise changer. But anyway. If I'm the Giants, I'm grabbing Sanders because the coach can kind of, he's kind of ingrained there. I don't think they're getting rid of him for Dion. And I just think that, Sanders, mobile quarterback, can definitely make all the throws. He's he's very talented. And being paired with a kind of a quarterback guru type coach who developed Josh Allen, I think it'd be a great fit. So Howard and Sanders right there. I think those are the 2 best quarterbacks in this draft, personally, in my opinion. But we'll see how everything plays out in the future, because I have a tendency to hit home runs. Sometimes I miss, but we'll see what happens. And then the Patriots, they need corner and receiver. Boom. I think Hunter will play corner on the other side of Christian Gonzalez, and I think he'll play receiver when he needs to. I actually really like Drake May. I think Drake May's going to turn out to be decent. It looks like he's working hard and everything like that. So looks like they might have their quarterback. The Patriots are building something nice there. They're just in the middle of rebuilding. All right, so if I'm Jacksonville and I'm the GM, they're obviously committed to Trevor Lawrence. Me personally, I'm putting him on the trade block the minute I get down there. Reality tells me that probably won't happen. If I'm Jacksonville, I love some of their talent on defense, and I'm just going to add to it. I do know they need an offensive tackle. The more I look at Will Campbell, the more I actually really like him here. But I think Graham is too good to pass up. I love his motor. I love that he works hard. You pair him with Walker. I think that's a nice fit there in Jacksonville. I think they'd be happy with him. It's not a sexy pick, but you pick them, you got someone good. It's just a guarantee. All right, the Raiders, in my opinion, are not in a position to go reaching for a quarterback. I just don't think they're in that position. I would grab a veteran, or maybe even draft one. I would grab a veteran and draft one later. I don't know who's out there, but I would not. I think if you're the Raiders and you grab Cameron Ward here, I'm telling you, this staff will be looking for a job in 2 years. I promise you that. Not that like I said, not that he's terrible. I think his ceiling's only so high, and I think he's going to be a little bit of an ego issue right off the bat. So if I'm the Raiders, I don't know who's available. Hey, I would draft a quarterback later. I think there's other quarterbacks that are almost as good as Ward that you can get later. I would grab McMillan just on talent alone. To me, he looks a little bit slow, but he's very, very big. He's a number 1 receiver. They've got Brock Bowers. They've got Myers. Just start building the team again. I would even advertise to the fans, hey, we're going to build this thing right. We're going to try to build it from the inside out. I know we're grabbing a receiver here, but we're going to try to build this thing right. And we're not going to be impatient to go grab a quarterback that could hurt us. Now, Cameron Ward could be the best quarterback in the league when he comes in. I don't know. When I watch him play, he makes a lot of "what the fuck are you doing" throws that he may not get away with in the NFL. He reminds me of a smaller, less athletic. Oh shit! Got from last year. Caleb Williams. That's what he reminds me of. He's a smaller Caleb Williams. He doesn't have the arm. He makes really ballsy throws, just like Caleb Williams does. And he doesn't run. He's not athletic. He might be athletic. I don't know if he is or not, but he doesn't really run. He's kind of a pocket passer, which I do like. But he's only 6'2". He's had one good year with a really good program, and he was a difference maker for the Hurricanes. He definitely was very good, but he makes a lot of throws where I wonder if that would fly in the NFL. And I think that he'd have a ton of ups and downs, and I do think his ceiling is only so high. I do not think he's like an Aaron Rodgers or anything like that. I think within the top 8, if you're picking, you've got to have a franchise-changing quarterback. To me, he is not. To me, he's not. That's why I'm not picking him yet. The Jets, I'm assuming they're going to... Let's just make this pick assuming they're keeping Aaron Rodgers. They need lineman. I'm grabbing Will Campbell. He's the best lineman in the draft. From what I've seen, he's the best lineman in the draft. He's been very, very good. I think he's been a freshman. He's been... Yeah. His arm, yeah, he's very, very good. Will Campbell's the best lineman in the draft. They need linemen, and I'm just making that pick assuming they're keeping Aaron Rodgers and they're kind of keeping the team they had last year. All right, Carolina, safety, center, corner, edge, QB. Okay, so if I'm Carolina, I think I'm making the same pick I did last time. I absolutely love this guy, Michael Williams. He's the best player in the draft on tape I've seen off of a block. He's very, very good when he's getting blocked. He's very good getting off of a block. He might be the best edge passer or edge rusher in the draft. When it's all said and done, I don't know. But his technique of getting off of blocks, he's very, very strong. And let's see how big he is. Yeah, 6'5", 265, and I'd say he can put on some weight, but man, he is very, very, very good player. You draft him, you're getting he's a plug-and-play guy. All right, the Saints. The Saints have, I think, Derek Carr there. This might be where I go quarterback here, to be honest. This might be where I go Cam Ward. Cam Ward, I think, is someone who he's feast or famine, and I think his ceiling's only so high, to be blunt. I do think he needs to learn under someone, and if they keep Derek Carr there, I think that would be a nice fit. I think it would be good. He's got 2 good young receivers, I think, if I remember right. 2 good young receivers? At least one in Olave. And I think the Saints are in a spot where they can draft their quarterback of the future and still be competitive. I don't think the Saints are going to be winning the Super Bowl anytime soon. I think hopefully they realize that, and I think that grabbing Cam Ward and just seeing what you got in him is probably a good idea there, because he's not coming in. I think if he got drafted there, he would be playing by mid-season, but at least he can come in and learn a little bit. You know, who knows? You can have a star. In my opinion, I don't think that he's a star. I think he's going to be a good, solid starter, and I think he'll show flashes of being really good because he can make some eye-popping plays. I just don't know if he can do it all the time. But like I said, he could be next fucking Dan Marino. Who knows? He definitely has the ability. He's just, what you're looking for in a first-round pick, I just don't think he quite has it. All right, so for the Bears, guard, edge, center. I think they're going to build around the Caleb Williams, and I think they got to build around the running game a little bit. I think I would grab Banks because I think he can play both. Former 5-star recruit. Wants to be a top 10 pick, yeah. Yeah, I think he can play both. He can play tackle or guard. He's one of those guys that's very versatile, or seems to be, or has his athleticism will allow him to be versatile. I think he'd be a nice pickup for the Bears there. And I think they're going to go the offensive line route. I would go that if I were them, especially if they're committed to Caleb Williams. Me personally, I'd put Caleb Williams on the trade block as soon as possible, but that's just me. San Fran. Tackle, guard, corner, edge, linebacker. I think San Fran's in the boat of drafting the best player available. I don't know edge-wise if they need an edge. Do they need an edge? This guy here was supposed to be like the #1 pick or like a high pick, but I've seen him on his I've seen his tape. He doesn't look that good to me. It looks, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know about him, man. It looks like a project to me. I don't think San Fran's in the drafting project. Business. If I'm San Fran, I'm scrubbing Will Johnson. I think he's really good. I think, you know, he's a plug-and-play guy. I don't remember if he's good man-to-man or zone, though. I don't remember which one he's better at. He seems like a better zone player. Yeah, he looks like he'd be really good in like a zone scheme. He can play both, but what I like about him is his size. He can tackle and everything. And San Fran's a good physical defense. I think he'd fit them really well. All right, the Cowboys. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing as far as their team goes. If they keep, my opinion, you know, I don't think you need to draft JT this high. I just don't. I think he's very good. I just don't think a running back will make a big difference for them. I really don't. I think they need to build their defense personally. I think they need to build that defense up. If I'm them, I'm grabbing. They need a linebacker? I think they do need a linebacker, actually. I think they need a tight end, too. Yeah, let's grab the tight end. I mean, I think they need to get really good, solid, reliable players on their team, like more weapons for Dak. I know he's got CeeDee Lamb, but I think someone like a Tyler Warren will take some pressure off of CeeDee Lamb and Dak. I think that's kind of a step in the right direction. You're kind of drafting some line. You can get a running back later. You don't need to grab JT now. I think Tyler Warren would be the better pick there for them. All right, Miami Dolphins. They need to get good in the middle. There are some players that I really, really like. I want to go through some of my players. In fact, there's one of them that I absolutely love, that if I'm the Dolphins, I'm going to wait and draft him, and he's just as good as anyone in the first round, and is this guy right here. This is probably going to be the top. He's going to be a top 5 offensive lineman out of this draft, and you can get him really late. He's a 99th ranked player. I've been watching him at the Senior Bowl. No one can get by this guy. He's not physically dominant. He's technically dominant, and he's very tall. He can put some size on. Everything they're saying about him here is everything that I saw. The concern was against his concern, obviously, here is against his competition. But everyone he went against, everybody in the Senior Bowl got beat by him. And it wasn't even close. When they zigged, he zagged. I mean, he was a step ahead of everyone. He's one of the smartest offensive linemen I've seen out of college in a very, very long time. So I've had Tyler Booker to the Dolphins here. If I'm Miami, now that I know about that guy, I am waiting. I'm waiting to go get another. I'm waiting to get a lineman there. There are some good offensive linemen later in this draft. This is a good deep draft for linemen. If I'm the Dolphins, I'm grabbing personally the second best player out of this draft, and it's Jalen Walker. This guy is spectacular. He can do everything. He can blitz. He can go side to side. He can tackle. What I really like about him is his size. Whenever he tackles someone, he hits them. He's the bigger, stronger player. Like when he hits them, they're done. When he tackles them and gets you in his hands, you're done. When he blitzes, very few linemen can block him. He might be the best football player in the draft. He might be at 13 would probably be the steal of the draft. He looks like one of the next great, like a Pro Bowl linebacker to me. And you can put him anywhere. You can blitz him on the edge. You can blitz him up the middle. You can put him as a middle linebacker. You can put him as a coverage outside linebacker. I think he is spectacular. I think if you drafted him in the top 10 of the draft, you would probably draft him late. I think he's that good. Yeah, both edge rusher and off the ball linebacker. Yeah, primarily as an edge, which is fine. I think he can be a blitzing 43 backer. I don't think he's a 34 linebacker. I think he's more of a 43, blitz him through gaps, things like that. Yeah, and the thing they're not talking about here is that he's a sticky tackler. That means when he gets his hands on you, you're done. You're going down. I don't think I saw him miss a tackle. This guy here, mark my words, is a Pro Bowler. Anyway, let's keep going. The Colts, tight end, safety, corner, tackle, guard, or center guard. There is a guard here. If anybody's watching, that's a scout. Avoid this guy here. Avoid him early. He's not very good. He looks a little bit. He looked passive. He looked nervous. He was getting beat. He was struggling to go against players who are down on the list. I do not like what I saw of him. He does not look 6'6" to me. He looks about 6'3". Stay away from him. He's not. I mean, I don't watch film. I didn't watch film him, but I did watch him on one-on-ones against players, and I don't think he won. I don't think he won against anybody. He struggled against lesser competition. I don't like this guy at all. This guy here looked pretty good, actually, Harmon. Yeah, this guy looked good here. Tight end, safety, corner. They wouldn't need tackle, defensive tackle, don't they? Huh. Yes, maybe not. Oh, they need a corner. Right here, Benjamin Morrison. He's really good. I like him a lot. He can play either. I think he's along the mold of the of Will Johnson, where he's kind of big. He can play kind of both, but I think he'll thrive a little bit more in zone. He's a big corner. He can tackle, and or he looks big. He's only 6 foot 190. He looks bigger than that. He was going against Harrison, and he was the same size. I was watching him against Harrison. They went at it. Yeah, and he's bigger. Like, he's got like muscle on him. It looks bigger than this to me. I thought he was about 6'1", like 205. I didn't think he was that small. But yeah, he's the real deal. He's really good. Falcons, corner, edge, safety. From the Falcons, I grabbed Starks. I think it's good to grab Starks here. Keep him in Georgia. They need a safety. I think he's a plug-and-play safety. Do I think he's a Pro Bowler or anything like that? I don't know. From what I've seen him, he looks inconsistent, but he does look like a good football player. He seems to know his shit. Like, he seems to like watch film and stuff like that, which I do like. Cardinals. Edge, guard, receiver. I think they did another receiver, and I'm grabbing Burton. Luther Burden. Sorry, Burden. Luther Burden. Cardinals are in a weird spot. They're kind of one of those teams that need everything. But it's like, why not give the offense another weapon? I know I'm passing JT. I understand JT's still there. And that's where I'm going the next pick. I'm going JT with the Bengals. I think JT, one of those guys that kind of slips just gives a position, and I think he goes to the Bengals and makes Joe Burrow just that much better. All right, Seattle. Or I think that's what I would do anyway. Seattle. If I'm Seattle, they have Edge, Nick Scorton, James Pierce. They need a guard. I'm grabbing Tyler Brooker. It's just gonna go grab offensive line. They've got two good running backs there. Just keep pounding. Keep on pounding. Keep on pounding. DK Metcalf probably will be traded and they'll be drafting up here. But who knows? Tampa Bay. I think they're in a good spot to draft someone who's good, but a little bit of a project. They can go either way here. If I'm Tampa Bay, I'm grabbing. Well, shit, they need a corner. Now I'm gonna grab Pierce. I'm grabbing Pierce. I think he's too talented to drop any really much further than he is. But he is someone who's going to be a situational player at first, and I think Tampa Bay can afford to have someone like that. So I think that's a really good spot for him. Plus, their coach is a defensive guy, so I think it's a great spot for Pierce to go to. All right, Denver Broncos, wide receiver, tight end, running back, linebacker, corner. Matthew Golden, who the fuck's this guy? I don't think he's a player that they would draft. I'm trying to think if they would draft, who the coaches are there and everything too. You know, I grabbed this guy. I actually like him a lot. You know, yeah, I grabbed the tight end, actually. I do like him. I think he's one of the best receivers in the draft. I think he's really good. All right, Pittsburgh. Quarterback, corner, receiver, tackle, guard. They need everything. All right, guys. Sorry about that. I had to kind of pause for a second because someone was delivering something. My dog was freaking out. Anyway, the Steelers, quarterback, receiver, tackle, guard. Cameron Williams. Let me see here. This is the one. This is the guy I think is like one of the best tackles in the draft. I think, or lineman. Yeah, that's where I would go. Right there. Josh Simmons, lineman, right there. I think he's gonna play guard. Almost guarantees him play guard. So if I'm Pittsburgh, that's what I'm grabbing. All right, LA Chargers, corner, defensive tackle, center, wide receiver, running back. I actually really like him. I was watching him. I think it was in the Senior Bowl, and he was doing pretty well. This guy, I'm not a big fan of him. I'm not a big fan of him. I don't think he's like horrible. But I haven't seen a lot of him. I've seen some of him, and I was like, I don't know where the big hype is. If he's as good as advertised, if I'm the Chargers, that's who I would grab because they do need a corner. It's the number one need. You may as well just go grab him. And I do like his size. He looked thin to me. He didn't look overly physical. The plays he made weren't anything special. But he could just be a good all-around every play. He's great. I don't know. I haven't seen much East Carolina football. But like I said, he's got the size. He looks like an NFL corner. I don't know. According to this list, he's really good. I'm going to put him there. I would put him there. But, if I'm trusting this list at number, you're getting the 14th ranked player here. It's good. All right, Green Bay, corner edge. I think Green Bay's in a position to grab someone who's a little bit of a project, physically dominant. This guy, Nick Scordon, boom. That's what I'm grabbing. You can put him on the opposite side of Lucas Van Ness, or just have him learn, I think, or be a role player for now. But I think eventually he can be really good. From what I've seen of him, his technique's not the best. He's not like a dominant player. He's just big and strong and athletic. He's a project. His skills need to be honed in, but he's definitely got the ability to be really, really good. And Green Bay, like, if he doesn't play much, they're still going to be good without him. So he's a guy that Green Bay can afford to kind of take a chance on, kind of like Philly when they were, picking these guys who were dropping in the draft the last few years. Yeah, they can afford to grab these guys, these talented guys. They don't have to come in and play right away. They don't have to come in and look at Nolan Smith. The guy's kicking ass in the playoffs. He was drafted a couple years ago. No one's even heard of him. I thought he had a top 10 talent in that draft. 2 years later, he's making an impact. Yeah, because someone who could afford to draft someone who's a little bit of a project They drafted him, developed him. Now he's spectacular. That shit works. All right, Minnesota. I don't know what their plan is, Minnesota. But maybe it looks like they need to build their defense. 6'3", 227. Oh, I don't like this guy. As far as his size, I like what they say about him. And the reason why I don't like him is because guys like that typically kind of get lost on teams. They don't... Isaiah Simmons. Who's the guy that the Panthers drafted that was like this? He's still in the league, but he doesn't really do anything. These hybrid linebacker safety guys. God, I don't know. I'm just going to grab Harmon here. I like what I see from him. He's got size, length. He can put some size on his body if he wants. He seems to be strong and explosive when I was watching him. He seems to be good. He needs some coaching. He needs to be coaching on his drive and everything like that. Looks like he wasn't like trying overly hard. He was still doing well, which is a good sign. But that doesn't mean he's lazy. When I was watching him in the Senior Bowl, I was like, he's kind of beating these guys up, and he doesn't look like he's really trying that hard. But yeah, so that tells me he's pretty talented. So I would pick him. I do like him a lot. I mean, he did pop a little. He did pop on the screen when I was watching. It's like you look at some of these players and you see kind of how they pop, and you're like, yeah, that guy is good. That guy is good. All right, so Houston. They need a receiver. I don't think they need a receiver. All right, if I'm Houston, I'm going to tell you right now, there's a guy in this draft. When I was watching the Senior Bowl, when he was going against the other players, it looked like an NFL player was going against college players, and not necessarily by physical dominance, but by technique. This guy's technique was almost flawless. He played with a high motor. My only issue with him is he's a little bit small, but I think he would fit this defense perfectly, and I think he'd fit the franchise perfectly, and I actually really like him a lot. And on the right team, I think he'd be productive as Mike Green out of Marshall. Mike Green, when I was watching him, when he was going against these guys, his technique was so much better than everyone's. I mean, it was literally like watching an NFL player against college players. Like you're watching the college guys against each other, they're going against each other, they're working hard, blah, blah, blah. When you watch Mike Green, he's doing techniques, he's doing spins, he's doing everything an NFL player would already be doing that's been in the league a few years. He kind of reminded me of Chop Robinson, but a little more polished, if that's possible. My thing with Chop Robinson was I thought he needed a little bit of work to work on his game, and he did, and he improved very fast. Mike Green has that like size and quickness, but he looks already polished. Mike Green actually might be one of the steals of the draft if you draft him this low. He's very, very, very good. My concern is he's a little small, 6'3", 251. He's an inch shorter, and I think he's a little bit. I think he's kind of Will Anderson size, but I think he's smaller, a little bit smaller. Day 1-2 consideration. I do think that a team like Houston would grab him, and he would flourish right off the bat with them. All right, the Rams. On the Rams are grabbing Williams. Just build that line. I'm assuming they're keeping Stafford another year. Just grab another lineman. A lot of these guys can play inside or outside, and he's got the tools. He doesn't have to come in and be the face of the franchise right away. He's one of those. He'll be going to a team that's well coached. Like I said, that doesn't have to be the main guy. He won't have a ton of pressure on him. I don't think anybody really know who he even is. So, and I think he can come in and contribute. And I think he looks like one of those players that, as the year goes on, he'll just get better and better and better. So you could end up being a really good player. He's got the size and everything for it. Baltimore. Tackle, corner, guard. Jesus Christ, that wasn't an offensive lineman. Linebacker, receiver. If I'm Baltimore, I'm grabbing him another receiver. One of my favorite players in the draft. Boom, right there. Just run that card up. Run that card up. Give Lamar Jackson another fucking. Give him another guy to throw the ball to. All right, so the Lions, they need to build their defense. Sorry, they need to go defense here. Kenneth Grant was the guy I had for them. I think he's still a really good player. Kenneth Grant, just put him in the middle. Washington, edge, corner, linebacker, tackle. Yeah, if he's this big and dominant, that's where I would go. I don't know much about him, but if he's that big and dominant, throw him right there. So the Bills, corner, safety, edge. I think this guy would fit their defense very well from what I've seen of him. He could be dominant. I think they need a guy who can kind of play like a big nickel type guy, because I think they play mostly nickel. I think it would fit them perfectly. So this guy here dropping the Buffalo would be great, to be honest. Philly. If I am Philly, linebacker, edge. Guard, tackle. I don't think they need to go all those players. That'd be a nice fit there. Oh, I know I'd grab him. Jod Campbell. Boom. This guy's really good. I knew his linebacker I was missing. He's awesome. I would grab him there. All right, Kansas City, defensive tackle, guard, wide receiver. I am going my favorite offensive lineman in the draft. And I'm grabbing Gray Zabel. Everyone missed out on one of the best players in the draft. Boom, done. And Kansas City again gets a top player in the draft because they know what they're doing. Anyway, that's my mock draft. Hopefully you guys like it. I think it's the third one, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hopefully there's not too many head scratchers. I know on the top of the draft there's going to be some head scratchers, but I think when everything's all said and done, when you come back and see this draft, you'll be like, oh shit, this guy was saying it before everybody else was. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.